The human brain, an extraordinary and complex organ, is often regarded as the most powerful and sophisticated part of our body. Weighing just about 3 pounds, it holds the ability to control every thought, action, and feeling. But how exactly does it work? How does it manage to govern our senses, regulate vital functions, and enable everything from creativity to complex reasoning? In today's video, we are diving deep into the functions of the human brain, exploring its anatomy, how it processes information, and what makes it so remarkable. Before we delve into its functions, let's first take a look at the structure of the brain. The brain is divided into 3 major parts: the cerebrum, the cerebellum, and the brainstem. The cerebrum is the largest part of the brain and is divided into 2 hemispheres, the left and right. It controls functions like thought, memory, emotion, and movement. The surface of the cerebrum, called the cerebral cortex, is made up of billions of neurons. It's responsible for higher-order functions such as reasoning, problem-solving, and decision-making. Located underneath the cerebrum, the cerebellum controls motor functions, balance, and coordination. It ensures that our movements are smooth and precise, from walking to playing an instrument. The brainstem is the link between the brain and the spinal cord. It controls essential life-sustaining functions such as heartbeat, breathing, and digestion. Without the brainstem, the body would not be able to function at all. The brain is made up of approximately 86 billion neurons, specialized cells that transmit information throughout the brain and the rest of the body. Neurons communicate through electrical signals, which travel across synapses, tiny gaps between neurons. When one neuron sends an electrical impulse, it releases neurotransmitters that cross the synapse and trigger the next neuron in line. This communication network forms the basis of how we think, act, and feel. One of the most fascinating features of neurons is their plasticity. Neuroplasticity allows the brain to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections in response to learning and experience. This ability plays a key role in memory formation and recovery from brain injuries. Let's now explore the main brain regions and their specific functions. The frontal lobe is responsible for higher cognitive functions such as decision-making, planning, reasoning, and problem-solving. It also controls voluntary movement, personality, and emotional regulation. The prefrontal cortex, located in the frontal lobe, is critical for self-control and impulse management. This lobe is involved in processing sensory information such as touch, temperature, and pain. It also plays a role in spatial awareness and coordination. Primarily responsible for visual processing, the occipital lobe interprets information from our eyes, allowing us to recognize shapes, colors, and movement. The temporal lobe is key for auditory processing, language comprehension, and memory. It houses the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for forming and retrieving memories. The limbic system, which includes structures like the amygdala and hippocampus, is involved in emotions, motivation, and long-term memory. The amygdala processes emotions like fear and pleasure, while the hippocampus is essential for creating new memories and navigating spatial environments. The brain works by receiving and processing information from the senses, interpreting it, and generating responses. The first step in the brain's process is receiving information from the environment through the senses: sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. This data is sent to the sensory regions of the brain for interpretation. Once the sensory information reaches the brain, it's processed and integrated. For example, when you see a friend, your brain quickly recognizes their face and interprets the sensory data to determine who they are. After interpreting the data, the brain generates a response. This response can be voluntary, like moving your hand to wave, or involuntary, like the automatic response to pain. The brain is constantly processing information even while we're asleep. During sleep, the brain consolidates memories, processes emotions, and repairs itself, all of which are vital for overall cognitive health. The brain is involved in nearly every aspect of our lives. From controlling basic functions like breathing and heartbeat, to enabling complex reasoning and abstract thinking, it is the command center of the body. Here's how the brain performs some of its most important functions. The brain stores information from experiences, allowing us to recall memories later. This process involves multiple brain regions, including the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex. Long-term memories are stored throughout the cerebral cortex. The motor cortex, located in the frontal lobe, controls voluntary muscle movement. It sends signals through the spinal cord to activate muscles in different parts of the body. The limbic system, particularly the amygdala, is responsible for emotional processing. Whether it's happiness, sadness, fear, or excitement, the brain creates emotional responses that influence behavior and decision-making. The brain allows us to reason, plan, solve problems, and think critically. The prefrontal cortex is particularly important for higher-order thinking and complex decision-making. In conclusion, the human brain is a vast and intricate organ that is far from being fully understood. From its millions of neurons to its highly specialized regions, it remains one of the most complex and fascinating systems in the body. The ability of the brain to learn, adapt, and grow throughout life is a testament to its incredible flexibility and resilience. Understanding how the brain works not only helps us appreciate its role in daily life, but also opens doors to unlocking new ways of improving cognitive health, mental performance, and overall well-being. Thanks for watching, and if you're fascinated by the brain like we are, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the wonders of the human body.